I'm in a mood to be a little vulnerable. I took my kids to the bus. This was right when school opened back up after COVID. Now I work from home, right? So it's not like I have to go in traffic after I drop them off on the bus. I'm just going back home when you really think about it. But after the kids get out the car, they walk over to the bus. I'm behind the bus, and you have to wait for the bus to close the little stop sign because you don't want to get that $245 ticket, right? So you want to go ahead and wait for the bus to load all the children on so it can close the stop sign, and then we could proceed accordingly. I can rush back to my 2.5 blocks away and go home. So I'm behind the bus, and all the other kids are on the bus, and here come these two young female middle school. They lived on the house on the corner of the school bus stop. And so all the other kids, they come and they wait on that corner for the bus. And you never see them. And so, mind you, the kids have already gotten out of my car. They're on the bus. All the other children are on the bus. And here come these two young girls. And they are just taking their sweet time. They're not intentionally being slow, but they're not rushed either. And I found myself irritated, like, who does ever think they are? I could laugh about it now, but in that moment, I was like, I know if they don't hurry up. And then I sat and I said, what is that? Why am I hating on these little girls? You know, when you have to stop yourself because you got to say, let me stop hating. I didn't just say, let me stop hating. The question was, why? Why am I hating on these little girls? Because they're taking their time and not being rushed to get on the school bus. I wasn't rushing to go nowhere but home anyway. Because I work from home. The point of this story is that I had to realize that I was, in fact, hating on these little girls for taking their time. And so when I realized that, because like I said, I like to dig deep into thoughts and feelings, I had to really acknowledge first that I was hating on these little girls. Then I had to think about why. What was it about this situation that caused tension in me? What rubbed me the wrong way? And honestly, it was the fact that they took their time. And I feel like even as an adult, I feel like it took me a very long time to be calm enough to not rush. I feel like all my life, I feel like I was told to hurry up and get down here, hurry up and let's go, hurry up, we got to do this, hurry up and finish that. I was always hurry, hurry, hurry. So when I saw that and I saw that they weren't hurrying up, they were actually pretty freaking chill, not disrespectfully chill. They were just taking their time. And I think in that moment, I was hating because I wish I could have took my time. I wish I didn't have to rush so much. And from childhood to adulthood, listen, I'm trying to be in this soft girl era. I'm still learning. I'm getting there fast, but when you've been living in survival mode for so long, just trying to be okay with being soft is a struggle sometimes. It's not your default. It used to be your default, but you got conditioned into survivor mode. So it's not as easy to be soft, to take your time, to be in your feminine. I'm trying to be in my feminine, y'all. I know what it feels like, and getting back to it conflicts with a lot of things that's going on right now. So back to my story. That was one of the first times that I really had to face the lens of my own flawed thinking. I was mad, not mad. I was irritated. My soul was irritated because I was jealous, I guess, or sad that I never got that space to take my time. growing up or even in adulthood. I never experienced that security of being able to go at my own pace, to stand in my own time versus acclimating to someone else's schedule. Even just thinking about those things, it comes with some type of guilt. Oh, you're making them wait. Nobody has to wait for you, right? They can go if they don't want to wait for you. But if you're not being intentionally disrespectful, why do you need to rush? You're going to make it on time. The bus is going to be there. You're going to get to the place. You're going to, like, you don't have to always rush. I was rushing to be early, and I could just plan accordingly and be early and take my time, right? But these are, like I said, these are things that as an adult, I am learning. And as a woman going through perimenopause, I'm also really thinking about why I let certain things happen the way they did and why it irritates me so much now. And y'all, we have been drugging ourselves for years, for our whole lives. The things that our body does is crazy. Like, I'll do that in another video, but it's about what I learned about estrogen during perimenopause and OMG. But, back to this story time, I really had to dig deep into my own self discovery journey because I found myself being jealous of two little girls taking their sweet ass time trying to get to the bus. And I didn't like that. So I said, you know what? Instead of gaslighting myself and thinking that it wasn't what I thought it was, no, I knew. I was I was jealous because I didn't feel like that was a thing that you were supposed to do. But that is exactly what those girls were supposed to do. They're supposed to take their time. They're supposed to walk. They're not supposed to be rushed. They did exactly what I wish I would have been able to do. And now that I understand that and that I know that, it just opens a whole door of possibilities. It just opens that rabbit hole for me of what else was I just thinking because of my own trauma, and how can I unlearn those things so that I could be in my feminine? Sometimes we're not even in our feminine because we are holding on to things that we don't even realize that we're holding on to. And the first step of being able to let go of something is to acknowledge that you're holding it in the first place. So yeah, that was just my rant. I'm gonna try to be consistent with these. You know how I do. I'm sorry. I'm gonna do better. If you stayed this long, drop me a comment about when you had your mirror moment where you had to look and say, well, damn, nah, why am I thinking like that? Drop it in the comments. Let me know. We're going to figure this out. Anyway, love yourself.